Welcome back to my channel, Ragamuffins. I'm Raggy, and today I am bringing you a tier list in which I am going to be taking a look at all of the Pikachu clones. That's right. So, as you all probably know, every new gen of Pokemon, they introduce a new electric rodent-like Pokemon that is there literally to be reminiscent of Pikachu. And while I feel like in the early days this was intended to be kind of like a mascot, if you will. They wanted to have like their own little unique electric rodent reminiscent of Pikachu to be the mascot of each unique gen of Pokemon. But it didn't really fly that way, and yet it is now a tradition. So we have all of the electric rodent-like Pokemon from Gens 1 through to 8. Sorry if I didn't catch up on Gen 9. It's, I don't make the tier lists, I'm just going to put that out there. But today I am going to be rating them based on my general favorites, which ones I like, and for any old reason. So you can see here on the left, we have ratings from S through to D, any old reason, in any order, just my favorite electric rodent would-be mascot Pokemon. And as you can see, we do have Pikachu here, and he's totally going to be on this list too, because I'm not rating them on how similar they are to Pikachu, and if that were the case, well, obviously he's going to be in S. These ratings, while they are my favorite, it's not like I'm comparing them to every other Pokemon. It will be among themselves. So there you go. Anyways, getting into it, just in order of how we see them. Gigantamax Pikachu. That is a weird place to start. And as far as Gigantamax Pikachu is concerned, I gotta say, yeah, it's an A. That's, like, as far as Gigantamax forms go, this one is not bad. Of course, you had to, like, Pikachu missed out on Mega Evolution, which makes sense because he can evolve. Gigantamax, the story's a little different. Gigantamaxing isn't evolving, it's a totally different thing, so it makes sense that Gigantamax could be a thing that Pikachu could do. Missed out on Mega Evolution. Raichu didn't get a Mega Evolution. I feel like he should have gotten one at least, but whatever. So, yeah, but no, I think Gigantamax Pikachu is pretty good. Like, so what I liked about Gigantamax was that the Pokemon didn't have to be fully evolved to do it, so it gave us a lot of cool stuff like Gigantamax Pikachu and Gigantamax Meowth, who was also really cool. Then we have, I'm going to assume that because of the cap, this is like Pikachu, like literally from the anime, and I'm gonna give him a B. I have nothing against that particular Pikachu. He's old. He's old as hell now. He's older than Ash. I don't think anyone dislikes this particular Pikachu. I think everyone who ever got into Pokemon was probably first introduced, or most of us were first introduced by this particular Pikachu, so I have nothing bad to say about him at all. Then we have just Pikachu in general, Pikachu as he appears in the games, and I'm actually going to rate him as a C, where you've got, like, Pikachu as he appears in the anime, he's like, this is the actual mascot, but then you have, like, Pikachu from the games, and, like, while maybe in, like, Gen 1 he might have been viable, to this day, they really got to go out of their way to make Pikachu viable competitively. Like, there are just simply better electric-type options, and, like, I'm going to say now that of the options in this list alone, I would say that a number of them are just outright better options than Pikachu himself, so there you go. So that's where Pikachu sits. Then we have Alolan Raichu, and I'm going to say Alolan Raichu is an A. Alolan Raichu, I mentioned that Raichu did not get a Mega Evolution in Gen 6, but then Gen 7 came out, and we got Alolan Raichu, which was kind of, I guess, Game Freak's way of saying, like, sorry, we didn't give you a Mega Evolution for this guy, but here's, you know, a different version of the same Pokemon, so, and, like, I love the regional variants of, like, all Pokemon. It's such a good idea. I love it. And Alolan Raichu, while I don't get him aesthetically, he does give a lot of love to what is an otherwise overshadowed Pokemon, because for every Raichu fan out there, there's literally like 1,000 Pikachu fans. So I feel bad for Raichu, and Alolan Raichu was something he sorely needed, definitely. I especially love how his tail, like, floats with, like, static energy, and he can, like, stand on it and sleep on it and just be, like, off the ground. It's great. As for regular old Raichu, I am actually going to rate him also an A. Regular old Raichu, you know, I've always been a fan of Raichu. Like, it's like I said, there's always going to be more Pikachu fanatics than there are Raichu, and I'm just sitting here like, I really think that Raichu deserves more attention. It's a cool design. It's like I love that his ears change shape. I love the giant lightning bolt tail. Like, it's a different, it's the, like, I would go as far as to say that Raichu is the perfect progression in an evolution, because he still has a lightning bolt tail, but it's a different kind of lightning bolt tail. He's still mostly yellow, but a different kind of yellow. And he's bigger and noticeably stronger. It's great. He is just a perfect evolution, and I love him. I love his yellow cheeks, too. That's cool. Then we have Pichu, and I'm just going to rate these guys together, because the one on the left is female, the one on the right is male. And, yeah, Pichu is one such Pokemon. Pikachu is actually another Pokemon that gets that, where they have, like, a different appearance based on their gender. I don't know if Raichu does. But a female Pikachu has, like, a love heart-shaped tail, and female Pichu just has, like, the little hair bit on the end of his ear. Or her ear, I guess I should say. It's weird to me that it's given me the option to choose between them, because, like, whether it's male or female doesn't really change much for me. I'm going to actually put them down in C, because I don't... I have talked about this on the channel before, but I don't hate Pichu, but I begrudge it because a Pokemon can only have 3 stages in its evolutionary line, unless it, like, branches, I guess. And the problem with Pichu is that because that creates, like, a trifecta, we've got Pichu, then Pikachu, then Raichu, that pretty much disables Raichu from being able to evolve. And I've always said that I think it would be way cooler if we had, like, an evolved form, like, in the later stage rather than the pre-stage. Like, baby Pokemon are a whole thing, and it makes sense that you would give Pikachu a baby form because he's cute, he's the mascot, we gotta sell it. But, like, imagine an evolved form for Raichu. I remember reading something recently that was actually supposed to be a thing. I can't remember the details, but apparently Raichu was originally intended to evolve. So we would have not had Pichu, we would have had whatever Raichu turns into. And I would have preferred that, I think. Anyways, moving on, another pair that I'm going to actually just rate together because they are from the same gen, and while they do take up completely different spots in the Pokedex, they are counterparts. They are seldom seen without the other, and they are Plusle and Minun. And I appreciate that they are a nod to the whole plus side versus minus side. It's a very, like, scientific edge to the electric rodent Pokemon. They are, in my opinion, maybe a little too similar looking to Pikachu, especially with their yellow color and the cheeks, but, like, they all have, like, the cheeks. It's just there's something about the way that Plusle and Minun look that's just a bit cheap to me. On that note, I don't think there's much to say about them competitively. It's a very niche aesthetic, but I feel like they could have done, like, this theme of the plus and minus Pokemon without actually being, like, the token electric rodent Pokemon. Like, I feel like in Gen 3 they could have had something better. So I'm going to have to put these guys down in D. I don't love these guys. Like, they're fine. I have kind of, like, a bad feeling in my heart about any Pokemon that is kind of, like, laywayed to be paired with a completely different Pokemon every single time, and that is exactly Plusle and Minun. It's unfortunate because, like, I don't think anyone's favorite Pokemon is Plusle or Minun. It's like, your favorite Pokemon, plural, might be Plusle and Minun, but it's not singular, so there you go. Then we have Pachirisu, and I'm going to say Pachirisu is a solid B. There's nothing wrong with Pachirisu. He is clearly an electric rodent. He doesn't evolve. He's just his own thing. He gets pickup. He has deceptively good stats, especially defensively, I understand. This guy is kind of an ace in the hole, especially back in Gen 4 when he was introduced. I like his coloring. I like that he's got the blue. I like that he's a squirrel. There's a lot unique about this guy, and I feel like something like this is what we should have gotten in Gen 3 instead of Plusle and Minun. Not to keep beating them over the head, but there you go. I would say that this is the standard. While I rate it highly in the B section, I guess, I'm not going to rate it any higher than that because he's not really any of my favorites. I've never, like, used him. I just appreciate him a lot. Then we have Emolga, and I am going to put Emolga in B section as well. Emolga pretty much ticks all the exact same boxes as Pachirisu. The difference with Emolga is I begrudge him a little bit because in Gen 5, in Black and White, and you may know where I'm going to go with this, but I begrudge him because in Gen 5, as you were coming up to the Electric Gym, pretty much every NPC you encounter talks about how Electric-type Pokemon are completely useless against Ground-type Pokemon. And then, before you get to the Electric-type Gym, you have to go through like 3 different areas that are just jam-packed full of cool, unique Ground-type Pokemon. So it's like the game like very heavily hints to you to catch and train a Ground-type Pokemon. And then when you get to the gym, and you do the battle, the gym leader uses Emolga, who is an Electric-type, but is also a flying type, which means that any advantage that the ground type Pokemon would have against him is now gone, because ground type moves can't affect flying type Pokemon. And I really hated that. That actually annoyed me to no end, because I remember I actually caught a ground type Pokemon and I trained the hell out of it, and I wasted so much time. Comment down below if you can relate, if you did the same thing and fell into the same trap. Then we have Dedenne from Gen 6, that is Pokemon X and Y, and I am going to put Dedenne all the way up to S rank. Now, I appreciate Dedenne because if you are going to base your color scheme or appearance on one of the other electric rodents, his is most reminiscent of Raichu, and I've already talked about how I love Raichu. It is actually so similar to Raichu that I thought that this might have been like an alternate baby form for Pikachu or something. I thought I just thought like that's where my brain went. Like this must be related to Raichu in some way. And it's not. It is totally its own thing. What I love about Dedenne outside of his aesthetic is how competitively viable this guy is. This guy pretty much introduced the move Nuzzle, which back in the day, Thunder Wave had a 100% chance to paralyze the enemy if they weren't a ground type, I'm pretty sure. The thing is that Nuzzle not only did that with a 100% guarantee, but also was a damaging move. Dedenne filled such a niche. He was so useful, and the same can be said of pretty much every Pokemon that came out of Gen 6. But Dedenne, he was like, what I love about him is that he's just a small little mouse, but he was like the most useful. And while it was a little predictable, the same, again, could have been said about most of the Pokemon that came out of Gen 6. But I love Dedenne, I love his aesthetic, and I love how competitively viable he is. Then we have, from Sun and Moon, we have Togedemaru. And I'm going to put Togedemaru in B, because I don't love him, but same story as Pachirisu, same story as Emolga. I can appreciate their aesthetic, their design. I like that he's a steel type. I feel like the steel type for the electric rodent Pokemon might have made an earlier appearance. That might have suited Plusle and Minun a little better, maybe. Give them a whole overhaul, give them a different... Give Plusle and Minun a regional variant that is like electric steel and make them like magnet-like Pokemon or something like that. That would be such a cool thing. Give them, I don't know, something. Give Game Freak, I challenge you to make Plusle and Minun more appealing to me. Just me. Just I'm the one you're trying to please, obviously. But yeah, that's where I put that's where I put Togedemaru. Then, lastly on this list, we have from Sword and Shield, we have Morpeko. And again, we've got 2 possible ratings for him. We've got him in his hangry form and then his fed form. And I'm just going to put them in the same place together. And I think these guys are going to go into C. So the reason for that is because while they do kind of technically tick all the same boxes like Pachirisu and Emolga and all that, Morpeko, his whole gimmick with the hangry thing, it's cute, but it's a little contrived to me. Aesthetically, I'm not sure what he's supposed to be. Like, for the others, it's kind of clear. It's like, that's a mouse, that's a squirrel, that's a sugar glider, you know. But for Morpeko, it's a little more, like, strained. I'm not 100%. There's just... He's very average, and the whole hangry thing, it's good. It's just not great to me. So there you go. In any case, guys, this has been my ratings, my favorites of the electric rodent type Pokemon, of which there's pretty much one in every generation. Sorry if I missed the one that's introduced in Gen 9. Like I said, I don't make the tier lists, I just find them. If you enjoyed the video today, then make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon as well. Share the video. Just do all of those things and give me your love. Thank you so much for watching the video and helping this channel get bigger and bigger every day. I appreciate it very much from the bottom of my heart, Ragamuffins. Thank you so much. In any case, thanks again. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.